Welcome to the Santa Clara International Swim Center, site of the Arena Pro Series swim competition, the last international competition in the USA before the Rio Olympics, featuring athletes from Australia, host country Brazil, Canada, matching up with US athletes before the Rio Olympics. Stay tuned. Thiago Pereira of Brazil won the 200-meter individual medley at the Santa Clara Grand Prix meet, breaking his own 5-year-old meet record. At the 2012 London Olympics, he had won the silver medal in the 400 IM. We talked with Thiago about swimming in his 4th Olympics and in his home country this year.
This pretty much is going to be my last meet before the games. I don't see any other meet before Rio. So I'm really happy with this result and looking forward for the next 60 days. We still have a lot of training to do. We are about that time that the meet is almost there, but there's still a lot of training to do until that. And I just hope I can keep going this way and grab another medal at my home country. It will be amazing. It's hard to talk about 2020. I always go step by step, I still have 2016 to go. It's an important moment, for me, for my country, for the whole South America, as I said in the interview. I think it will be a new experience for us. It's the first time we're having the games there. I believe we can motivate a lot of people, a lot of people in Brazil will start to understand a little bit more of the Olympics, I think most of the people knows we have... in Brazil, we have that soccer mentality. We have 2 World Cups in there. People always say we're the soccer country. So having the Olympics for the first time will be great, not only for us, but I think especially for the kids, they will be able to start dreaming, how important it is to represent your own country, especially, in my home, it's the state that I was born. I wasn't born in Rio at the big city, but I'm from a small city, an hour and a half driving from Rio. So, I have a bunch of family in the city. I have a bunch of family in the state. So I'm looking forward for that.
How about the matchups of Larkin and Phelps? Is that what you're looking forward to, and how you're preparing for it?
Yeah, it's always great to be with them. I believe not only Larkin and Michael, but especially the Hungary guy too, Laszlo. We've been swimming together since 2004. We've been making the 2 IM finals since that. I believe those guys, they helped me a lot, to become who I am today, all the results that I had. People usually, they ask if you think you're just born in, how can I say, I would say a wrong generation, but I disagree, because what those guys did, I got motivated by them. Of course, Michael, all the Olympic medals that he made, he's the most successful Olympic athlete, so pretty much it's fun to be racing with them. I'm big friends with Ryan. So we trained together before, so it's always great to have those races at the pool, and of course the friendship is always good outside the water.
Two veteran American Olympians out of Bay Area universities were swimming in this Santa Clara race. Simone Manuel of Stanford and Dana Vollmer of Cal, and they made the Rio team. Vollmer returned to swimming after having a baby 16 months ago and qualified for the U.S. Olympic team in the 200-meter butterfly and for the 400 freestyle relay.
Taking 2 years off, I felt like I began to appreciate some of the things that I started to want to get away from in the sport, and to like the early mornings again, to want to be pushing myself and working as hard as I can, and to really, I've liked knowing that I only had a year and a half from coming back to come back and see how fast I could go, and to kind of throw out my old technique, even though that is what worked for me in the past. I needed to be faster than that. Preparation-wise, I feel a lot less pressure than I did even in 2012. It's one of those, like, I didn't know if I was going to make it this far, and it's been my son and my family before the sport, and this has been my me time and what I've kind of my hobby that I love and I get to go do every day, and taking that into trials that of course I want to make the team so badly. I love representing the U.S. and competing in the Olympics, but I also will have a family that will love me and carry on with life if I don't make the team, and it's just a calmer place to be for me.
Many athletes have been very successful after having babies, and for different reasons. You're actually putting some psychological mix on this too, but what do you think has made a difference for you?
I've definitely seen so many women that compete great after having kids, and I didn't know how it would look, and I have more muscle mass and I'm leaner than I was before having Arlen, and feeling like the perspective change I feel like has been the biggest for me, just really that new love for the sport and priority switch and taking pressure off myself, and but I definitely feel like I'm in a better place physically than I've ever been. I'm in a better place mentally than I've ever been, and for me that's really exciting going into trials.
Stanford Simone Manuel will swim the 100 free and in the 4x1 relay in Rio. She took a term off from Stanford to get ready for the Olympics, as did her upcoming Cardinal teammate, Katie Ledecky, who postponed entering Stanford until after the Olympics and is expected to be the women's star of the Games.
Just trying to go out there, have fun, and do my best.
And then there's perspective of being on some pretty good relay teams.
Yeah, the USA definitely takes a lot of pride in their relay, so just trying to getting a spot on the relay is definitely something I'm looking forward to. College is definitely a tough transition. Just my freshman year was tough, going to classes, socially trying to mingle with people in your dorm and classes, and getting used to sleep schedule and eating in the dining hall. So it's Katie, so any decision I think she's swimming well, so it was obviously a bummer, but everybody needs to do what they think is best for them.
World backstroke champion Mitch Larkin of Australia came to Santa Clara as the current world leader in the 200-meter backstroke, which he won here to tune up for the Olympics.
It's a matter of coming here and I guess racing since trials. This is the first sort of competition I've done, and so it's about sort of just putting times on the board and trying to progress, faster and faster up to Rio.
So you come in as the world champion, the world leader at this point, and a little pressure on you. And now do you look at the U.S. trials and see what happens there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole world watches the US trials. There's some fast swimming happening around the world, and the US is probably one of the last countries to have their trials, so we're all waiting to see what times you guys post. But for me, it doesn't really mean too much. It's about sort of comparing apples with apples, and come Rio, the same sort of pool, the same sort of program, same time of the season, that's when you can compare and the racing really happens. Men's backstroke in the world's amazing, and I think it will be a sub 52 to win in Rio. And so for me, it's just about trying to set that goal and working back from there, and how do I execute swimming that. And for me, it's about working at stroke rates and splits, and then combining with skills as well.
So we're here with Rowdy Gaines, NBC's elite swimming analyst, for a little perspective on the U.S. Olympic team, which you chronicle very well.
Well, it's something that we look forward to every 4 years. You know that, buddy. And, we've been doing this for a long time, and this is our chance to shine. These 6 months leading up to the Olympic Games, and now we're 60 days out. So it is an exciting time for the sport of swimming, no doubt about it.
And it's interesting that one of our local athletes, who isn't local yet but will be, Katie Ledecky, is expected to be one of the stars before she enrolls at Stanford this fall.
Yeah, It's really very rare when you see an athlete like Katie come along once every generation. And when Michael Phelps did it, Mark Spitz did it, Don Scholander did it, and now Katie Ledecky. And I've never seen such dominance. Even with Michael, I've never seen such dominance in the events, especially the 400, 800, and 1500. She certainly looks unbeatable. Anything can happen. We both know that. We've seen that. But right now, if she stays healthy, she's going to be very dominant when we get to Rio.
Of course, the Bay Area has produced some of the all-time great Olympians with Jenny Thompson, Natalie Coughlin, who share the 12 record gold medals with Dara Torres. So we have a great heritage here.
It's unbelievable when you think about what Northern California has been able to produce over the decades of swimming. It's not just the last few years. It has a history of tradition of excellence here in Northern California. Thank goodness we have Northern California. I mean, I don't know what we would do without them, because they have had some amazing swimmers. With Stanford and Cal right here, they've been able to produce some great collegiate swimmers. But you go back to the Spitz and Donna Deverono and Scholander era. I mean, the list goes on and on of great swimmers. John Neighbor, obviously, from this area. So I could go on all day about Northern California and the great swimmers they've produced.
Interesting, you mentioned all those names of the people I worked with on TV and doing research for before was Rowdy Gaines, but also had the pleasure of following your career from 78 Worlds through Guayaquil and San Juan, and then the final success, 84 Olympic Games.
Well, we had some good times, didn't we? We've been through a lot over the last, well, we don't want to say, let's pretend like it's only the last 3 or 4 years, not the last 30 or 40, right?
Yeah.
It's been a great ride, and I'm calling my 7th Olympic Games this summer, and I have to pinch myself sometimes to think how blessed I've been to be able to do that, and I'm really looking forward to Rio. I mean, we are really in the glory days of USA Swimming, if you think about it. The 4 biggest names, arguably, in the sport's history. I mean, obviously, Mark Spitz and Don Scholander, and then, of course, Johnny Weissmuller. But when you think about Ledecky and Franklin, Lochte, and, of course, the greatest of all, Michael Phelps.
Yeah. Thank you. We're really looking forward to Rio. Including superstar Katie Ledecky, who will enter Stanford in the fall, the American Olympic swimming team will have 15 athletes with Cal and Stanford affiliations. Cal and Stanford will each have more than 40 Olympics representing several countries competing in various sports at Rio, about half of them in aquatics, including water polo. From the Santa Clara International Swim Center, we're signing off from the Arena Pro Swim Series meet here. The next time you'll see many of these athletes will be at the Rio Olympics.